guys, my name is Jess and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it is your first time here. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the books that I hope to read in the month of April. Now I know that I usually put up my previous month's wrap up video before I put up the following month's TBR, but I am going on a work trip tomorrow and I just didn't think that with everything I've got to do before I go that I would have the headspace to do justice to my wrap up, so I'm gonna flip it over and do it the other way around. But I had a really good reading month in March and I'm hoping that I can do the same thing in April, and I've got some great books lined up for myself this month, if I do say so myself. So without further ado, let's just start talking about them. First up, I'm going to talk about the books I'm currently reading. So I am still making my way through Fragile Lives by Professor Stephen Westerby. I've mentioned this in maybe 2 of my previous TBR videos, so I'm not doing so well with making headway with this. I'm still as far into it as I was at the start of the month. I really need to make more of an effort to pick this up. This is a non-fiction. Basically it's Professor Stephen Westerby talking about his experience as a heart surgeon, and it's fascinating, but I'm just not yet fully immersed in his storytelling yet, and I think that I need to just make more of an effort to pick it up. Then I am also currently reading Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. This was a book that I went into knowing that it had so much hype and I'm really enjoying it. This definitely falls into the quirky category and I'm about 200 pages in, and it's definitely taken me a little while to get into the writing style, but I'm really enjoying it. If you don't know, this is a book about she's not young, she's my age, so she's 30ish, girl called Eleanor Oliphant who lives her life in a very simplistic way. She does the same thing day in, day out. She has like 2 outfits that she wears and that kind of thing, and her life is very simple and very straightforward, and then something happens which kind of throws it a little bit off course. So yeah, really enjoying this at the moment and hopefully I will get this finished soon. I also have 2 buddy reads planned for this month. First up, I am going to be buddy reading Caraval by Stephanie Garber with Krista from Books and Jams, and this was a book that had a lot of hype last year and I just never got round to picking it up. It's about 2 sisters, I believe, who go to a circus and it's kind of a magical realism fantasy story. Don't know much more about it than that, don't want to know much more about it than that, but I'm very much looking forward to finding out what it's all about. And then I'm also planning on picking up Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor with Julie from A Girl and a Book. I mentioned this in my most recent haul video, which I will link up here and in the description box down below. But I am very much looking forward to trying out Laini Taylor's writing. This is a fantasy about a young guy called Laszlo Strange who is obsessed with the lost city of Weep. And one day he is given the opportunity to go along and discover this lost city, and that's all I know about it. But I am very much looking forward to picking this up. I've heard fantastic things about Laini Taylor's writing and I can't wait to pick it up with Julie. Another book which I mentioned in my recent book haul is Fingers in the Sparkle Jar, a memoir by Chris Packham. It is exactly what it says on the cover. It's Chris Packham's memoir about the way that wildlife has helped him deal with his Asperger's, and this is the Bookish Mama's Book Club pick for April. I'm not a big reader of memoirs, as you will tell. I'm struggling with the Fragile Lives one, but I'm hoping that the fact that it is the book club pick will push me to get this read and finished. From my TBR last month, I only had 1 book which I didn't manage to pick up, and that was Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. So I'm hoping that I'm not all middle graded out and that I will be able to get to this one. So I think I gave the wrong synopsis in my last TBR video, so let me quickly rectify that. This is the story of Morrigan Crow, who is cursed and she knows that she is destined to die on her 11th birthday, but just before she turns 11 she is whisked away to a magical world and basically given the opportunity to join some kind of magical elitist group or something if she can successfully complete certain trials. so she enters into this competition and the story unfolds from there. And I just think that this sounds like such a wonderful and whimsical story. I really enjoyed all of the middle grade books that I picked up last month, and it's inspired me to carry on and read some more great middle grade, so I have high hopes for this one. Then we have The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This is a book which probably needs no introduction. It's a very well loved, very well received, very hyped book on BookTube and in the book community as a whole, and it's one that I definitely want to get to as soon as I can. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. It just seems to always slip to the back of the TBR pile, so I'm picking it up and I'm officially putting it on my TBR. If you're not familiar with the premise of this book, it is about 16-year-old Star who lives in a very poor neighbourhood but attends a very posh school in another neighbourhood, and she is constantly warring with these two very different sides of her life, and then her world is turned upside down when she is witness to the fatal shooting of her best friend by a police officer, and that is where the story kind of unfolds. As I said, it's a very, very well loved book, and I'm very curious to find out what the hype is about, to see whether it lives up to the hype, and yeah, just to explore a book that I probably wouldn't necessarily read otherwise, so definitely one I'm looking forward to. Then the final two books I want to pick up, if I manage to make any headway with the mammoth TBR that I've already set for myself, I just quickly grabbed The Enchanted by Renee Denfield. This is a magical realism book set on death row. Don't know much more about it than that. The back of the book is incredibly vague, and I've heard nothing but good things about this, especially since I hauled it and people have just left me messages saying it's fantastic, you will really, really enjoy it. So I'm very curious to know what it's actually about and very curious to see what I think about it. And then the final book is a real chunker, so whether or not I will actually get to it, I have no idea, but I thought that I would add it on anyway, and that is Finnegan of the Rock by Marlena Marchetta. Now, I said her surname incorrectly the last time I mentioned this book, and I now can't remember how you do say it, so I apologise for that. But this is a Celtic fantasy book, and I have wanted to read this trilogy for the longest time. I love anything with a Gaelic setting, and I just have this feeling that I'm going to absolutely love it. But as I said, it's a really long book, so whether or not I manage to get to it in April will remain to be seen, but fingers crossed that I do, because yeah, I just really think that I'm going to love this. So there you go, they are the books that I hope to read in the month of April. Do let me know what you are planning to read, or if you've read any of the books that I've mentioned and what you thought of them. Please don't forget to give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content if you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.